Maru, do you have a timer?
Yeah, make sure there's a timer when Brian Donahue speaks. Other people don't need timers because they're allowed to speak longer, but undesirable, unpopular people, well, they do need a timer. Good point, Mr. Cardoza. Got to limit that undesirable speech in Emeryville. You know the program. I'm here to talk about family-friendly housing, except off the agenda. So I want to talk about it in a way that it's not been agendized tonight. I want to remind everybody here, why is it that we're trying to attract families to Emeryville? And as far as I can see, there's two reasons, and I'd like to hear any other reasons if anybody wants to chime in, but first let me throw my ideas out. I can see two reasons why we want families here. One is demographics. It's nice to have a diverse citizenry in our town. And so families are part of, it's human culture. And so we should have some of those in our town, some families. And so that's a reason why we want families. So I guess it's an aesthetic bias in favor of diversity. We sort of collectively have decided that's what we like. And you'd be hard pressed to find somebody who would disagree with that, except for with perhaps the exception of Mr. Cardoza. So we like diversity. So we like to see little children. We just aesthetically like that to have families. I would say that's the minor reason why we want to attract families to Emeryville, because there's a more compelling reason, in my view, and that is to support our schools. Everybody here went to school. We tend to like public schools, and with the exception perhaps of Mr. Cardoza. I think I'm joking. I'm not. So we want to support our schools. So the problem with the way we're calculating family-friendly housing right now, it had a lot to do with mechanical design, but it doesn't cut to the way we're talking about family-friendly housing right now doesn't address the bigger problem, and that is we need to have the housing attract families that will go to our schools. Their children will go to our schools. The problem is if the housing is not affordable, we can maybe attract families, but we'll attract upper middle class families or maybe wealthy families, and then that's been documented. You can see that they don't send their children to public schools. Instead, they opt for private schools, generally. So we may be getting families with this type of housing we're talking about, but we're not going to be getting the kind of families that we want, which is the ones that will support our schools, which is the primary reason why we're want to get them here. It's not just because we like to see little children running around. It's also because we want to support the schools. So I say that the two are inseparable and inexorably linked, the idea of affordability and family-friendly. Those two, they must be connected. And there's nobody in this town that has made that connection yet. And I'm telling you guys, I think you should make that connection. Thanks.
Thank you.